hope all of you had an amazing Sukkot. It's good to be back with you here. So I want to tell you about an amazing book that I've been reading by one of my favorite authors in the whole world. Her name is Ruchama King Feuerman, and she just came out with a new ebook called "In the Courtyard of the Kabbalist." And I'm about 100 pages in, and it's just such a wonderful book. It's the main character. He's this man. He's a new immigrant who just moved from New York, from the Lower East Side to Jerusalem, and he's working as a shamash, like as an assistant, in the home of a Kabbalist. And what I love about Ruchama Feuerman, about her writing, is that she presents so much of the color and the vividness, and also the quirkiness of life in Israel and in from society, and it's just wonderful. And the main character, so he's 40 years old and single, and he's such a sweetheart. And it's sort of heartbreaking as you watch him going through the book, because he's just such a sweetie, and whatever. So he would like to get married, and it's not working out. And I have a bit of an issue when I read fiction. I take it a bit too much to heart. I'll be reading a short story in Bean or something, and I'll be like, don't do that, don't do it, stop. I get too worked up about it. Okay, I relate to it like it's nonfiction. So I had that reaction when I was reading something in the Courtyard of the Kabbalist, and I wanted to share it with you. So it's basically it's a scene from a date between this main character, this single 40-year-old from man, and a widow named Mrs. Edelman, So basically, this is the conversation, and this conversation, it so broke my heart, and it got me so frustrated. It made me so angry. Okay, so I'll read it to you. And I was like, Mrs. Edelman, stop saying that! I was so angry at her. Okay, so this is the conversation. Mrs. Edelman nodded and let out a big yawn of her own. This is at the end of the day. "Excuse me for saying this," she threw out as the bus rounded the corner, "but I can't see you ever getting married, if you'll forgive me." A lump of silence. Then he says, "Just because you and I are probably not a match," he said stiffly, "doesn't mean I'm unmatchable." "Good for him, he's standing up for himself." "I know a serious man when I see one," she stated, and a flush traveled from his itchy sock all the way to the black hat on his head. It was true. All his setups ended like this. Why he even bothered to date was a mystery to him. "So why waste my time," the widow went on, reading his mind, "or anyone's?" He pondered this, and then he said, "A single person can be compared to a captive held in jail, waiting to be redeemed," he said at last. "He could be saved the next minute, or in another 20 years, one never knows. Don't the sages say that redemption can come in the blink of an eye?" Mrs. Edelman let out a faint snort. I fail to see how that answers my questions," he said, and boarded the bus. Then he took his own bus back to the courtyard. Isn't that terrible? Very, very sad. So I just want to tell a few, two stories, things that I heard about this, conversation that I had this week about people who have turned their lives so around, that are so proof of Yeshuat Hashem Kecheref Ayin, that Hashem can redeem us in the blink of an eye. And just to know, you are not stuck. You are not stuck. It's not true. Nobody's stuck. You're not stuck. Okay? So I want to tell two stories. One is, I have a cleaning lady, and I love my cleaning lady. She's a wonderful person, and she's been working for me for, I think, almost for about a year and a half. And she has an interesting personal story. She's actually been married. She's in her mid-60s now, and she's been married 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. I don't think I've ever met anyone else in my life who's been married 5 times. And she just kept on marrying one bad person after another bad person, always people who were really problematic and abusive. And now, Baruch Hashem, she met someone. She actually met him through an internet, through a From dating site, I think Fromster. And now, she's in her mid-60s and he's in his early 80s, and they are they've been married now for about 2 years, and they are just happy together, and they do fun things together, and they go to theater festivals together, and they laugh together, and they go on walks together, and they just have fun together. And she's like, "So on the 5th time, it worked. It happened, you know." And I can imagine a lot of people at her wedding were like, "Oh, you're getting married again? Oh, okay," just preparing themselves for like the 5th divorce. No, this time, Mama, she's happily married. It can happen. Yeshuat Hashem k'cheref ayin. Okay, so I want to tell another story. So there's a woman who walks a lot around my neighborhood. I see her a lot around the market, around the shuk, and I don't know what her story is, but she is really, really crazy. She's the kind of person that, like, she walks around just, like, sort of spouting weird things, and she's cursing everyone, and she looks very strange. Like, she walks by you and, like, much in, like, the lowest, most disgusting language, like, curses at you, and she is just nuts, like a raving, crazy lady. Her hair was sort of like dreadlocks with all this, like, wow. She just looked terrible, like crazy. She looks like, I don't know, a bag lady, okay? So, all of a sudden, like, on Friday, I was in the health food store, and I saw this woman was actually at the health food store next to me at the cash register. And I was like, "Wah!" I sort of like took a step away, like, "Oh no, she's gonna curse at me again," like she always does. But then she's saying to man, "So tell me, is the organic kind, does it contain many more nutrients than the non-organic? Do you think it's very important that I buy the organic? So what does it actually contain?" And all of a sudden, it was so bizarre. And the salesperson was just relating to her. Like, obviously, he sort of knew her in this sort of different state, and she's just like a normal person. In fact, a sort of like intelligent, sort of nice person, interested in like the organic, nutritional qualities of food. And I saw her again this morning in the shuk again, and she was talking with the person saying, "Well, when are you to get cauliflower? I'm waiting for the cauliflower." He said, "I don't know what we're gonna get," but much like a totally like normal, like very sort of actually kind of pleasant human being. Wow. I don't know what happened. Maybe she went on medication. I don't know what happened to her, but Yeshuat Hashem k'cheref ayin. Like, nobody is stuck. Okay? So I have this meditation. So I think most of us are not in such dramatic situations in which we feel like our mazal is stuck. Like, I think that probably, so let's say a person's working on, like, so one person struggles with a bit of depression, one person yells at their kids too much, one person has tensions with their husband, one person struggles with anxiety, let's say. But I believe that everybody is struggling with something. But I think for most of us, it's something a bit smaller than these examples that I'm giving. But I think that these big examples should give us hope. Like this person, her 5th time, and it's working. Her 5th marriage, and this crazy back lady, she became like a normal person. And like us, with our relatively minor things, like we can do it too. I have this amazing disc that I listen to every day. It's by a rabbinit named Margalit. Her name is Rabbinit Margalit Schaffner. She actually has a website, and it's a disc in Hebrew, only in Hebrew, unfortunately. But I listen. It's a wonderful relaxation tape, a relaxation disc. And my favorite part, my highlight of this disc, is the following. So she says all these things like relax and feel Hashem's light coming down on you. It's wonderful. I love it. And then she says this line. She says miyom layom ani holechet v'tov b'chol muvan ve'ofen. Every day I'm getting better and better in every single way. Every day I'm getting better and better in every single way. The funny thing that she does is she says it at least, I think, 20 or 30 times. She just repeats it over and over and over. And it is like, listening to this is the highlight of my day. It makes me feel like I am. Every day, I'm getting better and better and better and better. Even if it's just like these small things. Someone once told me, I don't know what this is a quote from. I think maybe some rabbi said that when you're working on midot, when you're working on like your character traits and things like, things you need to work on in yourself, then you measure success in the same way that an orthodontist measures success. Like, working on midot is like orthodontia. What does that mean? Because like my daughter Hadass has braces, so it's like we're just waiting for that tooth to move like half a millimeter. 1 millimeter, that'll be like the end of the whole thing. You know, we're just waiting for things to like budge the teенsiest bit. It's the same with our character traits. The smallest successes are so amazing. It's such an amazing thing. And this disc, it gives me hope. It gives me hope. You know, every day I'm getting better and better in every single way. You know? It's an amazing feeling just knowing millimeter by millimeter, half millimeter by half millimeter, half millimeter by half millimeter. I'm getting to be stronger. I'm getting to have more emunah. Thing that I'm really working on this year, my Rabbi Niven class, you know, my personal development chabura. So in Elul, then we all write out our goal for the year. And my goal for this year, in addition to, you know, JewishMOM.com and inspiring you Jewish moms, is, I'm reading it right here, my yearly direction is learning about and trying out positive thinking. And so what I'm working on, moving millimeter by millimeter, is right here. Right here. Working on positive thinking. Okay? So I want to bless all of you Jewish moms. Don't forget, Biyom liyom, every single day, you are getting better and better and better in every single way. Okay, I want to bless all of you Jewish moms and to remind you, like, even if you shouldn't feel stuck, think of this woman who got married 5 times, and the 5th time is the good marriage, or this crazy bag lady, hey, who became normal, and you can do it too. You're not stuck. You're going to see, this year we're going to see Yeshuat Hashem K'cheref Ayin. I'm going to bless all of you Jewish moms with an amazing, amazing week.